Hey guys, I'm Takuki, and if you don't know, I'm an artist and I also make my own comic, but today I'm going to be reviewing someone else's. Well, it's not just someone else's, it's a comic by Ironverse Comics. 2 weeks ago or so, I made a post asking for anyone that wants to be like my first author that I review for, this is just a tryout video. I'm just testing this, see how it goes, and see if you guys like it. And Ironverse Comics was the first to reach out to me, so I looked at what they had so far, and they have 3 stories. I picked Cactus Coyote, and it turned out to be shorter than I was expecting, which actually works out for this, because this is just a tryout video, so let's see how it goes. The main focus of this review is to explain why this works, why I'm instantly drawn into the series, even though the intro, this is literally just the preview of the story, and it's very short, but it's so immersive, and the storytelling is very good. But there's like not a whole lot going on per se. Like there's not a lot of like we do this and we do that. But it just tells you a lot about Cactus Coyote's universe without him directly telling you. It's so it really sets the scene. So first we're gonna look at my first page impression. I'm going to try to do that for every review, I think. Alright, so this is the first page of the story. What am I thinking? What am I assuming about what journey I'm about to go on? Well, I'm assuming that I'm not going to be able to read this on my phone. That's my only critique here, is that all the lettering and font, it was way too small on my phone. I just switched to my iPad, which I usually read comics on anyways. But I wanted to test out Global Comics' app, which you should try, by the way. It's very good. Like, normally I'm not a huge fan of mobile apps because they usually try to simplify everything, but you're not missing anything. Like, it's really good. This is someone that uses the website for like a lot of stuff, even if there is an app. And I use it on my iPad rather than just downloading the app. So that's my first impression of this. But aside from that, so what I was thinking when I saw this first panel and then the one below it, it makes me feel like this world, it already tells me this world is not limited. It tells me we're going to be going through quite a few locations here throughout the galaxy. So I did initially think that they were going to be cruising through the galaxy, but that's not quite what happens. You'll see they're trying to track down our friend here, Cactus Coyote, who will introduce himself in a minute. But it was definitely giving like classic, like space adventure comic vibes. You might not notice this if you're only someone that reads comics, but there's a lot that goes into each and every panel. Deciding where you're going to place the panels, deciding what angle you're going to draw them at, deciding what colors you're going to use. All of those things are very important because each and every single panel matters, especially when you're introducing your story. Creative works and storytelling in general is a very competitive area because there's really not a shortage of talent, but that's the thing. You're trying to grab the person's attention. You're trying to say, this is why mine stands out over all the other ones. This is why you should keep reading this. This is why maybe out of 3, out of 5, out of a whole library, this is why you should pick this one up, maybe buy it, or just at least keep up with it online, or any of the above. Sometimes if you're not a big established name, people are going to take less chances with you. But again, the other way that you open up and how you grab the readers, the consumers, whoever's attention, is the art. And that's another thing I want to get into. The art style in of itself tells you what type of story this is going to be. Now, that's not always 100% true, but in general, you wouldn't use maybe a really super cartoonish art style for something that's a pretty serious, dark story. Unless you want to do the old switch and bait and throw people off. And another way that you perceive that is the colors. It transitions from, they're in space and there's a lot of grays going on, maybe a couple blues here and there, cooler grays, black. And then when they show the casino, Calypso Casino, that's where we're at. It starts with like purples and blues, but they're cooler. Then as you get into the casino, there's warmer colors like reds and oranges. And that helps also with the aesthetic of Cactus Coyote. Another thing you have to sell the reader on is the character itself, the main character. Why do I think this character deserves to be the main lead? Why should I care about the main character? When he does finally appear, they do what they call indirect characterization. All that means is that they tell you stuff without putting it, waving it in your face, having Cactus Coyote say, "Man, I'm always on the run," or "I'm not the most liked person," you know? We see Cactus Coyote kind of interrupting this casino game. I don't gamble, okay? Anyways, what this tells us that this is kind of regular business for him. When he interrupted the game, he wasn't like, yeah, I'm so sorry. It shows he can be a bit uncaring, but not malicious per se. He's just kind of, well, self-centered. So the space people are after him, and then he gets on the table and he uses his magic. I'm not really sure what it is specifically. We're just going to call it his device. He uses his device to dispense this freeze card, and it freezes everything in the surrounding area. And then, honestly, I'm not quite sure what happens next, but then he's like, I guess, trying to get money. And then he gets kicked out. But before that, they introduce this little cat that's like sticking around outside of the casino. This is where they balance out his character. It already adds layer, but it doesn't make him like too super complicated. They show that he's trying to get money so that him and his cat can eat. So at the same time, we don't know what put him on the run. We don't know how he got down this path. But he's not completely heartless and does have the capacity to be caring towards other people that aren't himself and put himself in danger and at risk for people that are close to him, or in this case, a pet. When I'm editing this video, I completely forgot to mention that they add Bible verses in the story, but like at the bottom, and it doesn't come off like preachy or anything. It just adds to the story. Then at the end, they have some fan art, and then they have a little bit from the creators about how this whole Cactus Coyote thing came to be. It's really cool and interesting to see, so I really recommend you read this for yourself. As you can see, they use a lot of show don't tell to really put you in this atmosphere. And again, it's on Global Comics, and I'm assuming the Ironverse Comics website, but I can't reach it right now for some reason, but I will put both in the description. If you like this type of review, please let me know in the comments and tell me what you think. And big thank you to Ironverse Comics for suggesting this to me so I could review it. Really appreciate it. Wait, are you about to click off the video? Did you like and subscribe? And did you leave any other suggestions so maybe I could review another comic, your favorite, or maybe your own? Now you can leave.